Hey, what's up guys? I'm back with another video for my picks for UFC 253, Israel Adesanya versus Paulo Costa, which is going to be the return to Fight Island. So before we get into the picks, there may be a few names on this card that may not be as recognizable as others, but that's good news for us because anybody who doesn't have a recognizable name yet, may not be a household name yet, will be trying to make a big splash in this card. Whether it's about taking a few more risks, pushing the pressure a little bit more, or upping the pace a little bit, you can expect to see these new fighters willing to put it all on the line and really being able to show out. So the first fight, forgive me for butchering these names, is Hakeem Dawodu versus Zabaria Tugadov. You may have seen Hakeem with that head kick knockout going around on Twitter and stuff. And on the other hand, we have Tugadov. And this guy has a lot of pressure, very ferocious with his attacks, always pushing forward. And he really prefers his striking, but he also is mindful of the sweeps, the takedowns, the trips, all that is still available to him. He knows when to utilize it, and whenever he gets on the ground, he doesn't let up. That being said, I see Hakeem ending up on the ground and using a lot of energy to survive and possibly get back up, and therefore that's going to give Tugadov a lot of time, a lot of opportunities to get his shots off and to do a lot of damage on the ground. So I'm seeing this as Tugadov winning in the second round via KO. So next up we have a fight in the women's bantamweight division, and it's going to be between Caitlin Vieira versus Sierra Eubanks, and I feel like this one's going to be a very close fight. Both of these ladies are very experienced grapplers, and like I said earlier, both of them are going to try to be making an impact. Caitlin is coming off a KO loss, and Eubanks is coming off a couple of decision victories. And the main thing I think that's going to happen in this fight is who's going to be able to get settled first and who's going to be able to get comfortable and implement their game plan. So with Eubanks, I feel like she's going to have the advantage in this one due to the fact that Caitlin is coming off that KO. It may mess with her a little psychologically, but that being said, I believe it's Eubanks that's going to be leaving with the win with a second round KO. Next, a flyweight fight between Kaikara France versus Brandon Royval. And so France, I've seen some of his fights, seen some of his highlights. He seems like everything he does is set up big hits, so especially with his right hand. He's willing to take big risks, but he's also been caught a few times and taken a lot of damage taking those big risks. So that being said about France's recklessness, I've seen Royval be very precise with his striking and willing to exchange. Royval is very comfortable fighting off his back. He aims for submissions and he's not afraid to exchange strikes to get there. Once he gets there, he's looking for the quick submission finish or the ground and pound if he ends up on top. So going off that, I'm looking to see Royval in this one with a second round win with a submission. But I have a feeling that there's something very impressive that's going to happen during this fight. So next up, we have a fight for the light heavyweight title, which Jon Jones vacated. And this one's going to be between Dominic Reyes versus Jan Blachowicz. So last time we saw Dominic Reyes was a little over a year ago when he fought Jon Jones for the light heavyweight title. And honestly, I was very impressed with Dominic Reyes, his performance he put on. He started to wither a little bit in the middle, but definitely started off strong, definitely ended strong as well. Jon has come off some decision victories as well, so we look to see both of these guys have the gas tank to make it the distance. The last time we saw Jon was whenever he TKO'd Corey Anderson, who recently went to Bellator. So when comparing the two, Dominic Reyes usually wins in decision or TKO victories. He's very versatile with his striking. He's comfortable going to the ground. I feel like he prefers to stand up more. On the other hand, Blachowicz has won in a variety of ways with submissions, decision victories, TKOs, so he can do it all. I'm really eager to see what Dominic Reyes has learned from fighting Jon Jones, and I'm also eager to see how Blachowicz is prepared for this fight. One unique ability that both of these fighters possess is being able to adapt to their opponent mid-fight, and that's something that's very key in this fight because both of them are going to try to figure out each other's tendencies. That being said, since Dominic Reyes has been in the cage with Jon Jones, I feel like every opponent that Jon Jones faces, they come off with a lot more experience. They leave that fight learning things about themselves as well as learning things about how to react to their opponents better than they did before. So I see Dominic Reyes winning this one in a decision, a very close decision, but still, I see him winning 3 out of 5 rounds and taking home the win and earning that light heavyweight title which belonged to Jon Jones. Deep down, I feel like whoever wins this fight is still going to be aiming for Jon Jones, and it's going to kind of be like when DC won. It didn't really feel like he was the champion. It kind of felt like, yeah, he's the champion since Jon Jones isn't here, and Jon Jones kind of sits on that throne, and whenever he feels like coming back to the division, we all know we'll be eager to see him come back if he decides to ever come back. So that's just something to happen in the future. All right, so main event time. Israel Stylebender Adesanya versus Paulo the Eraser Costa. Not much left to say about this fight. I mean, we've seen the hype between these two. If you haven't seen the promo video, check it out. So looking at these two, both of them fight very differently. Both of them are built very differently. Comparing each of their most recent fights against Yoel Romero, we can see that those fights are like night and day differences. Yoel Romero didn't even fight Stylebender like he usually fights his other opponents. So I don't expect to see that same from Costa. That's this whole story has been built upon. He's not going to fight the same. It's not going to be that timid, wait for something to happen fight. I feel like this fight's going to start off at a very quick pace, a lot of pressure from Costa, and Izzy's going to have to weather the storm, and that's going to be the main question. Will Costa be able to press him, keep the gas on the pedal to last all 5 rounds in case Izzy survives? And will Izzy be able to get his shots off? Will he be able to master his distance like he has against his other opponents? Will he be able to jab, land kicks, break him down like he says he will, and pick him apart? That's the main thing. Will Izzy be able to pick apart a mountain is what. Another thing to take into consideration is, what if Costa takes down Izzy? What if he can get the takedown early, press him up against the cage? Will he be able to evade that? Will he be able to survive that pressure as well as dealing with the big shots that Costa blows? There's nothing that Costa throws to set anything up. Anything he throws is coming in, it's going to do damage, even if you have your hands up. And we see Izzy master his movement. That's what he's been known to do. A big criticism that Izzy got lately was that Kelvin Gastelum was able to get in on him, was able to close that distance and land some of the shots. And Costa's coming in as a bigger man, and what's to say he's not going to be able to get that close and get that one shot that just connects with him and slows him down. Maybe it may not even be to the head. Maybe it could be to the body and take the breath out of him. Now Izzy's fighting on the cage, trying to survive to make it to the end of the round. And Costa's going to be coming in, firing out all cylinders, trying to put that pressure on him, like I said. And it's going to come down to a question of how many of Izzy's shots can he take? How many jabs can he take? How many times can his legs get kicked and him not wanting to stumble or draw back on the power? And so a lot of people are going back and saying, well, Paulo Costa and Yoel Romero went to war with each other. Well, if you look back at Izzy's last fight with Robert Whittaker, so did Robert Whittaker and Yoel Romero. And still, Izzy was able to pick him apart because he fought different. He fought Izzy differently. So if Adesanya is able to make it out of the first round, I see him being able to settle down, implement his game plan, set up the shots that he wants, and be able to pick Costa apart. As the fight progresses, I see Izzy gaining more confidence and more momentum, and Costa slowly withering away. But still being dangerous. But I feel like his options of landing that big shot are definitely going to be limited. So overall, I'm giving this one to Israel Adesanya in a decision victory. All right, guys, so my decisions have been picked. Let me know what you think. If you agree, disagree, have any comments, any idea how these fights are going to go. Other than that, follow me on Xbox Live. That's my gamer tag. And follow me on Twitter. I'll be live tweeting during the fights. And I will see you on the next video. Thank you. Which is going to have Dominic Reyes versus Jan Blachowicz.